Hello and welcome. This is going to be my updated Blu-ray collection for 2022. We have a lot of movies to go through, so let's get this intro started and we'll get into the video. Welcome once again, my name is Austin and this channel is all about helping you to dig deeper and go further to better understand faith and film and everything that's in between. So if that sounds exciting to you, make sure you click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on any future content. Since last year's Blu-ray collection update, I've added about 100 or so titles to the collection by my count. Now that is a combination of some upgrades as well as new items added to the collection. So I'm really excited to share all these picks that I got behind me. I think watching and showing off a Blu-ray collection is a great way to kind of get to know someone on a more personal level and what kind of stuff they're interested in. So I always enjoy showing off my updated collection for the year. Typically in years past, I've broken up the video to kind of have some fun along the way with it, where in each section of shelving, I will pick my favorite movie out of that section. To add a little bit more variety to each section this year, I'm going to pick my favorite movie from each section and then just a movie recommendation from each one too. So you get 2 movies from each section of my collection along the way. And I highly encourage you to play along and pick some of your favorite movies from my collection as well. Starting off with my box sets. Now I do have some other box sets that I do keep on the regular shelf, but these are like my most special kind of prized. What are you doing? These are kind of my more prized box sets that I have in my collection. So starting off, we have the Hobbit Extended Edition Blu-ray Trilogy and the Lord of the Rings Extended Edition Blu-ray Trilogy. And then I have the Alien 35th Anniversary Edition Blu-ray set and the Aliens 30th Anniversary Blu-ray set. I also have the complete series of How I Met Your Mother on DVD. This has all 9 seasons, as well as there's a bonus disc in here as well with some extra features. I have Stranger Things Season 1 on Blu-ray and Stranger Things Season 2 on Blu-ray. 2 is a bit hard to find these days. I know my brother's been looking for it for a while. And then this is my wife's. This is the DVD box set for The Notebook. All right, starting things off from A to Z, we have A Knight's Tale. And then for both of these, I have the Quiet Place Steelbook and the Quiet Place 4K Steelbook. This is actually the only instance of me double dipping purely on the packaging. Next, we have A Quiet Place on 4K, A Star is Born Steelbook, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, a guilty pleasure of mine, The Accountant, a really great underappreciated Affleck movie, Act of Valor. I don't love this one as much as I used to, but I do think it's really cool that they used active Navy SEALs for this one. Alien Covenant. I think that's underappreciated in the Alien franchise. The first Alien, regular Blu-ray. Actually, Aliens, those are actually the only other instance I think of me double dipping for packaging, because those are the exact same Blu-rays, but the other ones I showed are a box set. Next, we have The Amazing Spider-Man on Blu-ray. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Anna and the Apocalypse, a great Christmas movie. Aquaman. Arrival. This is a recent 4K upgrade that I made. I haven't watched it yet on 4K, but I will know this was past year is the year I I upgraded all my tech to 4K. So I bought a good bit of 4Ks this year. So I'm excited to finally show those off in a complete collection. As Above, So Below. Really underrated horror movie, I think. I really enjoy that one. It's like a found footage style. So if you've not seen that one, definitely check it out. That might be my recommendation. Assassin's Creed Lineage. This is the kind of short film that they did for the Assassin's Creed 2 back in the day. That's live action, and it's actually quite decent. Atlantis, The Lost Emperor, and Milo's Return. I've only seen the first one of those. I rewatched it not too long ago since I was a kid, and it still holds up pretty well. I wish we could get a live action adaptation of that. That'd be really cool. Next, the Avatar Collector's Edition. I'm really excited for Avatar 2 coming later this year. AVP, so this comes with the first and second Alien vs. Predator movie. I do also have Baby Driver in my collection, but it's loaned out to a friend right now. The Back to the Future, this is the 25th anniversary Blu-ray. I'd like to get that one on 4K at some point, but I don't love the franchise enough to justify that price right now. Batman Under the Red Hood, probably my favorite animated Batman movie. BVS Ultimate Edition. Beauty and the Beast, live action, one of my favorite of the Disney live action movies. Behind Enemy Lines, really great Owen Wilson movie, underrated. Ugh. Big Hero 6, one of my favorite Disney movies that's animated, that is. Birds of Prey, I really enjoy that one. Blade Runner on 4K. Actually, this is Blade Runner 2049. I'm not a huge fan of the first Blade Runner, but Blade Runner 2049 I love. This is the Blomkamp trilogy, so it includes District 9, Chappie, and Elysium on Blu-ray. And then we have the Bourne trilogy, so that's Bourne Identity, Supremacy, and Ultimatum. And then I also have Jason Bourne. This is, I think, the Walmart exclusive that they did on it back in the day. And then Bumblebee. So that wraps up section 1. Probably my recommendation based off of that one, I'm going to go with As Above, So Below. As far as my favorite movie in here, we're definitely going to go with Alien, because Alien is one of my favorite movies of all time. So kicking off section 2, we have The Book of Eli. My dad actually just rewatched that not long ago and made me want to rewatch it as well, so maybe I will soon. The Cabin in the Woods of 4K. Catch Me If You Can. Chasing Mavericks. Chef. Ooh, I already have at least 2 in mind that I want to recommend in this one. A Christmas Carol. This is the Robert Zemeckis animated one that they did with Jim Carrey. Christmas Vacation, the best Christmas movie. I don't care what my wife says. Chronicle. Let's put all these together. We have The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Prince Caspian, and Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Cloverfield. Commando. Contagion. Cowboys and Aliens. This is one I slept on for too long and actually really enjoyed when I finally watched it. Crawl. That's another good recommendation. Creed, and then Creed 2. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I rewatched this a couple of months ago for the first time in at least a few years and really, really holds up well. I might get that on 4K at some point. Batman Begins. The Dark Knight on 4K. This is the only one of the trilogy I have on 4K right now. I'd like to get all 3 eventually. And then The Dark Knight Rises. Date Night. Pretty funny comedy with Steve Carell and I think Tina Fey. Tomorrow When the War... Or I always want to say Tomorrow When the War Began for this one. That's coming later. The Day After Tomorrow. Deadpool, this is the complete collection, parentheses, for now. So this is the first 2 Deadpool movies on Blu-ray. And then Once Upon a Deadpool. So that's the PG-13 version of the second Deadpool movie. Deepwater Horizon. Lots of good recommendations in here, man. I have a good collection. Die Hard. So this is Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Hard 3, and 4. I won't watch Die Hard 5 because I've heard it is terrible. Divergent, and then I also have Divergent 2 Insurgent and Allegiant, the third one. Those are ones my wife quite enjoys, and they're not too bad. Django Unchained, that's the regular Blu-ray Steelbook. Hopefully we can get a 4K for that one someday. Dr. Sleep, check this one out for the first time this past year, and really, really loved it. Dread, got to introduce that one to a friend of mine a few months ago, and thankfully he loved it. Drive, this is the Steelbook. Most recent to my collection, Dune. So this is technically Dune Part 1. So I'm curious when Dune Part 2 comes out. Are they going to put Part 2 on it? We'll see. Dunkirk on 4K. And finally, Eagle Eye. If I was to pick my favorite amongst this bunch, I don't think any of my top 10 favorite movies of all time are in this section. So recommendation, I'm going to cheat and double recommend on this one. Catch Me If You Can is a really, really underappreciated Steven Spielberg movie. And Chef is a really good Jon Favreau movie. So if you haven't seen that, especially Chef, that's a great family movie. I mean, there's a good bit of language in it, so it's not family for your whole kids and stuff, but it's a great movie about family, I would say that. Favorite movie amongst this bunch is probably going to be The Dark Knight, I think. That's an astounding film. Even over Dune, I think that what Dark Knight did for superhero movies is huge. Kicking off section 3, we have a Christmas movie in Elf, Ender's Game, The Equalizer. I did check out The Equalizer 2 finally and didn't really care for it too much. It was okay. Aragon, I'm almost done with this last book in this series. The movie's not that good at all, but the books are fantastic. Escape Plan. Face Off. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald. Fantastic Mr. Fox on Criterion. I also got into Criterions this past year, so that's pretty cool. The Farewell on Blu-ray. Still haven't been able to revisit this one since the first time when it emotionally destroyed me. Here, we'll pull these out real quick. I have all of the Fast and Furious movies minus Hobbs and Shaw, so everyone pretty much knows what those look like. I don't need to show those in this one individually. So, Fat Man, another really funny, awesome action Christmas movie. Jackie Chan's First Strike. I got into the Police Story movies, which you'll see later in this video, and this is technically the 4th movie in that franchise. Fly Boys. Following on Criterion. Ford v Ferrari on 4K, one of my favorite 4Ks. Fury. Game Night, one of my favorite comedies. This year, especially, I tried to bulk up my comedies. I'm still working on it because I really don't have enough comedies in my collection for where someone comes over and says, I want to watch a comedy. So, still working on that, but we're getting there. Get Out, one that I need to rewatch, definitely before the next Jordan Peele movie comes out. Get Smart, one of my favorite comedies from growing up. Fighting with My Family, a great Florence Pugh performance and a really fun movie. Gladiator, one of the best. Glass, this is part of the Unbreakable trilogy. I keep all those movies just alphabetized rather than together. Glory on 4K. That's a good Civil War movie. Godzilla, King of the Monsters. And then most recently released, Godzilla vs. Kong on 4K. Need to watch that 4K soon. I've heard it's excellent. Good Will Hunting. Oh boy, one of the best. Good Night or Good Morning. This is a movie a friend of mine gave me. If you're watching this, Bradley, I thought you would get a laugh out of me sticking a certified fresh Rotten Tomatoes sticker on there. The Greatest Showman on Blu-ray. The Green Knight 4K. And The Gray. My favorite out of this bunch, I don't think, once again, one of my top 10s is in here. So probably the best out of this bunch is The Gladiator. But I'm going to recommend Good Will Hunting. I think that's my recommendation. I'm going to recommend Good Will Hunting. If you've not seen Good Will Hunting, it's an astounding film. One of the best Robin Williams performances. It was written by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. It's a phenomenal film. Continuing on with section 4, we have Hacksaw Ridge. Hairspray. This is a really cool Blu-ray slipcover that I found for my wife. It's one of her favorite movies. Halloween on 4K, and then the Halloween 2018 on Blu-ray. I still got to see the new Halloween movie. Another bundle here of Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You. The first one is really a well-done movie. The second one was okay. I still enjoyed it, but it didn't quite have the magic of the first one. The Harry Potter 8-film collection on Blu-ray. This one is one I'll have to explain. So I call this the Has Fallen collection because we have Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen, and then Angel Has Fallen. So since these movies are all amongst the same franchise, I like to try to keep them together. So I just call it the Has Fallen collection because we are getting a 4th one from what I've heard. Here Comes the Boom. Home Alone. Home Alone 2, the only Home Alone movies you need. Hoosiers. This is one, I don't remember if it was in last year's complete collection. I got it almost a year ago now, and I still have not had the time to watch it yet, so I'd really like to, though. Hot Fuzz Steelbook. Then we have the Hotel Transylvania trilogy. So I have Hotel Transylvania, and then the second one, and the third one. So those are pretty fun, underrated animated movies. They're not bad. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. One of my favorite animated trilogies, How to Train Your Dragon. So we have all 3 of those. The Hunger Games collection. In previous videos, you may remember, I had the first one on Blu-ray, and then I had like a collector's edition of the second one, and I didn't have 3 or 4, and I just figured I might as well just get a box set for it, or a 1-pack for it. So I Can Only Imagine, not a bad Christian movie. I, Robot. I Am Dragon, that's a cool foreign film. Kind of a play on Beauty and the Beast in a cool fantasy sense. I Am Legend. The Impossible. In Time. One of my favorites from this past year, In the Heights. That was on my top 10 for the year. You can check out that video for my full list. Inception. That's the Steelbook, the regular one. The Incredibles, one of my absolute favorite animated movies. Django Unchained comboed with Inglourious Basterds. I got this mostly for Inglourious Basterds because I already have the Django Steelbook. Insomnia, good Christopher Nolan movie. Instant Family, a great family comedy. That one is a good family comedy. The Intern, The Internship, and Interstellar. Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, of this bunch, I can't remember in my top 10 list if Interstellar is my favorite or if Hot Fuzz, but I know both of those are on my top 10 list. I just can't remember which place off the top of my head. As far as a recommendation out of that selection, I'm going to recommend The Impossible. I don't know if this is still on Netflix, but that's where I first watched it, and this is a really great movie. Great family survival drama, kind of thriller. It's really good. Kind of a family goes on vacation when a natural disaster happens, and it's them trying to find each other afterwards. So great movie. Next, we'll move into section 5. This is The Invisible Man. This is the 4K. I had the Blu-ray previously, but I found this 4K for just a few dollars at a used store and still wanted the slipcase, so I just kept my Blu-ray one on it. Next, we have a great foreign film series, the Ip Man movies. So I have Ip Man 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are really good martial arts films. They're all on Netflix if you haven't seen those. The Iron Giant, another one of my favorite childhood animated movies. There's a bunch of these animated movies in my collection. I'm having my first baby. My wife's having our first baby in just a couple months, and I can't wait to show them some of my favorite animated movies growing up. The Island. I did have It Chapter 2 in my collection. I still have the digital copy, but didn't love it as much, so I kind of just got rid of the physical, because if I do want to watch it, I could just watch my digital copy. It's a Wonderful Life, absolutely fantastic movie. The Italian Job, Steelbook. Jack Reacher, and then I have Jack Reacher 2 on Steelbook. All right, here's another one I have to explain. I keep all of my Daniel Craig James Bond movies together under J for James Bond, just because if I'm going to watch the movies, I want to watch them together. So I don't want to have to go through and pick out the 5 individual movies. So I keep them all together. So I have Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, and No Time to Die. Then we have Jaws on 4K. This is a really cool lenticular 4K collector's edition. Jingle All the Way, a Christmas movie my wife introduced me to just in the past year or two that I actually never seen before. The John Wick 3 movie collection on 4K, so we have that until John Wick 4 comes out. Joseph, King of Dreams, a recent addition to my collection, another one I can't wait to show my son one day. Then we have Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, and Jumanji, The Next Level on Blu-ray. And then we have what I consider the only Jurassic Park movies you need. The first one, the second one, and Jurassic World is enjoyable for what it is. So for me, that's my personal Jurassic Park collection. I won't go any further than that. I do have a Justice League. This is the regular Blu-ray for the theatrical edition, and Justice League Zack Snyder edition on 4K, a far superior film, but just for comparison's sake, I still keep Justice League in my collection. The Kid Detective, King Kong, that's the 2005 Peter Jackson one. Knives Out, there's a lot of great movies in this section. Kong Skull Island, Krampus, another fun, I have a weird Christmas movie collection. Kubo and the Two Strings, there's too many movies in here I want to recommend to this when I'm done. La La Land, Last Action Hero, come here. The Last Samurai, Normally I might recommend that one, but that's been kind of in a resurgence lately. And The Legend of Tarzan. Out of this bunch, I'm going to dig real deep with this one and recommend... Well, first, let's start with my favorite out of these. So, my favorite movie out of these, again, that's cool. None of them are in my top 10 of all time, so I don't have an easy pick, a little more of a challenge here. Probably my favorite of this bunch might be Knives Out, I think. Just giving it once more over. I love the Knives Out movie. That's a great murder mystery. As far as a recommendation out of this, I'm going to recommend The Kid Detective. Now, this is one, if you do want to check it out, you're probably going to have to buy it or rent it somewhere because I don't believe it's streaming anywhere. It's more of like an indie film. Really cool detective story told from a really unique perspective. Starting off section 6, and I think about the halfway point for this collection, the Lego Movie. Leon the Professional. This is the 4K Steelbook, one of my favorite 4K Steelbooks in my collection. Life, another movie I really slept on for a long time and actually really ended up enjoying in the end. Little Women, another great one. Live, Die, Repeat. Hopefully we can get a sequel to this one day. It keeps sounding like it's in the works. Logan. Not much I can say about that one that hasn't been said. Lone Survivor on Steelbook. Great war film. I'll show these together. I have the Lord of the Rings 3-film collection. So this is the regular theatrical versions. And then this is the one that was released last year of the 4K of the trilogy. So this comes with the theatrical and the extended editions, both on 4K. Then we have The Lost Boys, one of the best vampire movies. Love and Monsters, one that was really underappreciated and underperformed from 2020, I believe, and got some good love in the past year, so I'm glad to see that coming around. Mad Max Fury Road, The Magnificent Seven, Man of Steel, Man on a Ledge, The Martian. This is on my 4K wish list. I'd love to get that one on 4K. The Mask of Zorro. This is one of the first 4Ks I got from my collection. The Matrix. The Maze Runner, and then I should have shown these all together. We got The Maze Runner, The Scorch Trials, and Maze Runner, The Death Cure. And we got Meg. I always almost, oh, it is The Meg. I was going to say, I almost always call it The Meg when it's just Meg, but it is The Meg. Memento. Memories of Murder on Criterion. Minari. This is one of the better movies from last year I heard about. I still haven't had a chance to see it yet, though. This is the Mission Impossible 5 movie collection. So the first 5 movies in the Mission Impossible franchise. And then Mission Impossible Fallout. So that's the 6th one there. I would like to get that one on 4K at some point. Moneyball. But I've only been in the 4K game for a year or so now, so can't do them all at once. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. One of my favorite comedies of all time. The Mummy. Mulan. I really like that live action adaptation. I still have only seen it the one time, but even after that first time, I really liked it. I don't know why it gets hated on so much. Napoleon Dynamite, National Treasure, and National Treasure 2, Book of Secrets. Need for Speed, Nerve, The New Mutants. I did actually like that one and how it turned out. And the first Night at the Museum movie, obviously the sequels to come. As far as my favorite movie in this one, you gotta know it's The Lord of the Rings, of course. As far as a recommendation from this section, I'm gonna do what happened to me and recommend Life. I slept on this one for a long time thinking it was just an Alien clone, but it's actually not. It really differentiates itself with similar aspects, but it's still very different and a very good movie. Okay, let's see if we can speed things up for this last row of Blu-rays here. We have The Night at the Museum 2 and Night at the Museum 3. I really enjoy those. I had a lot of fun with them growing up. Nightcrawler. We desperately need a 4K for that movie. No Escape. Nobody. Really great movie from this past year. Now You See Me 1 and 2. This is one of those box sets I mentioned that I keep on the shelf. The Oceans Collection comes with a deck of cards and some dice. October Sky. Old Boy. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I like this back cover way better, so I usually actually keep that side facing out. The Others, Overlord, Pacific Rim. I need to get that one on 4K. I bet that looks incredible. Pan's Labyrinth, Parasite, Passengers on 4K, another one of the first 4Ks I got. The Patriot, great Mel Gibson movie, which there's a lot of those. The Pirates of the Caribbean 4 movie collection. It's too bad that first Pirates of the new ones came out in 4K and is not good. Pitch Perfect, because I would have loved to have gotten that. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, one of those comedies I mentioned that I've been bulking up my collection with. The Planet of the Apes trilogy, this is the Andy Serkis one, so Rise, Dawn, and War for the Planet of the Apes. Then we have The Polar Express. And then I'd mentioned the Police Story movies earlier with Jackie Chan. So Police Story 1 and 2 on Criterion. These movies are incredible. Predator on 4K. Not the Predator, Predator, the good one. Predators, I do like that one actually. Premium Rush. The Prestige, a Christopher Nolan movie I really enjoy and my wife hates. Priceless, another not bad Christian movie. Prince of Egypt, another one I can't wait to show my son one day. Prince of Persia. And then Project Almanac. As far as favorites amongst this bunch, or favorite, I should say, definitely going to go with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. That movie is great. As much as War is stronger thematically, I think Dawn is the best of the bunch. Recommendation out of here. I'm going to give a recommendation on the Police Story movies. As far as I know, both of these movies are actually on HBO Max. So if you have HBO, check them out there. But I got into them this past year. They're amazing Jackie Chan movies where he wrote, directed, and starred in them and used his own stunt team. They're phenomenal. The stunts will blow your mind. Starting off Section 8, another one from the Alien franchise, Prometheus. Then we have the Raid collection. Absolutely some of the best action movies ever made. Ragamuffin, my favorite Christian movie. Rear Window on 4K. Haven't had a chance to watch that 4K yet, but it's a great movie. My favorite of Hitchcock's. And then Red 1 and 2. Pretty fun action movies I grew up watching with my family. Red Cliff, parts 1 and 2. Together, these are the longest movie in my collection at almost 5 hours long. Remember the Titans. Still haven't not watched that one since I was a kid, so I really need to go back to it. Rurouni Kenshin 1 through 3. I'm really hoping we can get 4 and 5 on Blu-ray at some point. Until then, at least they're on Netflix for the time being. But there's some samurai movies I got into last year and loved. Rush Hour 3 movie trilogy. Sahara. The Santa Claus. Still got to get Santa Claus 2 and 3 in the collection at some point. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. School of Rock, one of my absolute favorites from kids. Scott Pilgrim versus the World on 4K. Let's do both of these. The Scream trilogy and then Scream 4. Really excited for the new Scream movie. It's getting great early reactions. Searching. A really unique found footage style movie. Seven Samurai, the first Criterion in my collection that I got. My brother got that for me for my birthday last year. Shadow, great foreign film. The Shallows. The Shawshank Redemption Steelbook. This is one I do want to get on 4K, but I'm somewhat torn because I love this Steelbook, and I actually like this Steelbook better than the new one. Shaun of the Dead, also on Steelbook. Shazam. Sherlock Holmes and Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows. I would love if we could finally get Sherlock Holmes 3. She's the Man. I won this one in a giveaway, which was pretty awesome. Shooter. We're getting that one on 4K soon. Sicario. I still got to watch Sicario 2. Sing Street. You might be hearing about that one again in a minute. Small Soldiers. Another one from my childhood. Snowden. Watched this one for the first time this year and loved it. The Social Network, Spaceballs, and then Speed. Favorite from this bunch, just to double check, yeah. Okay, favorite Sing Street. That's on my top 10 of all time. Easy pick right there. Recommendation off of here. I'm going to recommend Ragamuffin because I will probably never stop saying that is the best Christian movie until they actually make a one that's better. Starting off the second to last section for the regular Blu-rays, that is, of 9, we have Speed Racer. The Spider-Man trilogy, that's the Raimi ones. I do want to get those on 4K at some point. Spirited Away, probably my favorite Hayao Miyazaki movie, but I've only seen a few of them so far. Split. I'll show these together. We have Star Trek Into Darkness on the Steelbook, and Star Trek Beyond. I watched those for the first time in a long time this past year and really enjoyed those. Star Wars, this is the prequel trilogy. And then we'll do these together. We have Solo and Rogue One, the in-betweens, the middle child of the Star Wars movies. And then Star Wars, the original trilogy, obviously the best ones. And then wrapping things up with Star Wars, The Force Awakens, Steelbook, and then The Last Jedi. And what's this one called? Rise of Skywalker. It tells you how good that movie is. I can't even remember the title. Then we have Step Up, Step Up 2, Step Up 3, and then Step Up 4, Revolution. These are movies I watched growing up and really enjoyed. Haven't had a chance to revisit them yet, but I will some point. Suicide Squad. I do still need to get the new Suicide Squad movie. Super 8 on Steelbook. Taken, the only Taken movie you need. Tarzan, my favorite Disney animated movie. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trilogy, so that's all 3 of those movies from the 90s. Tenet on 4K. The Terminator, we need a 4K for that, because Terminator 2 on 4K, the first 4K in my collection before I knew that this was a bad transfer, but it does still come with the Blu-ray, so at least I have the regular Blu-ray for that too. They Live on 4K, one that I watched when I was quarantined this past year and loved and bought immediately. This Means War, a fun rom-com, action movie kind of thing. Tomb Raider, I'm hoping we can get more iterations with that Tomb Raider interpretation. And then The Thing, this is the prequel one. So this is the prequel one from 2011, and the original Thing on 4K, which I watched around Halloween this last year and loved. Tombstone, you've probably noticed, one of the few Westerns in my collection. Tomorrow When the War Began, that's the one that I keep mixing up with The Day After Tomorrow. Top Gun on Steelbook. Total Recall, still got to watch this one on 4K, but I've heard the transfer is excellent. The Town, another epic, awesome Ben Affleck movie. And then Train to Busan, one that I rewatched soon, and one of my favorite animated movies, Treasure Planet. All right, favorite out of this bunch is probably going to be Tarzan, because Tarzan is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I love that Disney adaptation. So recommendations out of here, I'm going to do it purely off of accessibility. I think Train to Busan is on Netflix, so if you have Netflix, check that one out. It's a really good zombie movie. Finishing off the last Blu-ray section, section 10. Hi, how are you? We go with Tron Legacy, Turbo, Twins, great comedy that I watched for the first time this past year, Unbreakable, Uncle Buck, another comedy I bulked up the comedy section with. Let's do all these together. I have all the Underworld movies on Blu-ray. So Underworld Evolution, Rise of the Lycans, Awakening, and then Blood Wars. I always mix up the titles on these. They're so varied. Upgrade, Warm Bodies, Warrior, The Way Back. I want to do a joke in my collection. So there's a movie called The Way Back. That's the Ben Affleck basketball one. And then there's The Way Back. So I want to have The Way Back and The Way Back in my collection. And I want to know if there's a movie called The Back. Whiplash, Wind River, Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984. The Wonder Woman 84 is the 4K Steelbook. At World's End. The World's End. Let's do a big X-Men chunk. So X-Men, this is the Beginnings trilogy, so the prequel ones, Dark Phoenix, and then the original X-Men movies, and then the Wolverine. Then we have Young Frankenstein, classic comedy right there. Both of the Zombieland movies, Zombieland and Zombieland Double Tap. Zootopia, one of my favorite Disney animated movies. Probably the last Disney animated movie I've truly loved. 10 Cloverfield Lane. Moving into numbers now. These ones always stick together. 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. 21 Jump Street. 22 Jump Street. 42, The Jackie Robinson Story. 500 Days of Summer. 1917 on 4K. Most people, for some reason, keep their numbers at the beginning of their collection. I don't know why. I feel like it makes more sense to keep your numbers at your end. And then I have some multi-packs as well. So I have Blazing Saddles, Caddyshack, and National Lampoon's European Vacation. And then we have Blade of the Immortal and 13 Assassins. The Peanuts Holiday Collection, and the original Christmas Specials collection as well. I'm going to say right now, my recommendation, we're just going to do that one first, would be check out 13 Assassins. It's a great foreign film. Last I checked, it's streaming on Hulu, might be somewhere else as well, but that's one you should definitely check out. Favorite from this bunch, probably Whiplash. Whiplash is incredible. Now, you may have noticed I do have a couple extras over here. Those are just ones that I've either upgraded to Blu-ray or 4K and just haven't traded or gotten rid of yet. So I have the Invisible Man and Jingle All the Way right now. My Marvel Cinematic Universe is over here. I won't show those, just kind of like the Fast and Furious. Like, if you know, you know. I have Iron Man all the way through Far From Home. So I have phases 1 through 3. So I still got to get everything from phase 4 so far. But kicking off the TV shows, we have Avatar: The Last Airbender on Blu-ray. TV shows I really bulked up on this past year. Band of Brothers on Blu-ray. I upgraded that one this year. The Bible. Don't know why that was backwards. And then Batman Beyond, the complete series, one I watched growing up. Chernobyl, absolutely phenomenal miniseries that's on HBO. The Chosen, Season 1, great Christian show. I still got to get Season 2, it just came out on Blu-ray. Danny Phantom, the complete series on DVD, one I watched growing up, and one I will enjoy with my son, I'm sure. And then I'll show these together. So I have the first season of Falling Skies, Season 2, Season 3, and then Season 5. I had to look at it for a second because I wasn't sure. I still need Season 4, so one I just haven't pulled the trigger on yet. I'm trying to get all these as cheap as I can, so I usually buy them used, but I just haven't seen Season 4 on Blu-ray used yet. The Haunting of Hill House, one of my favorite TV shows. I got all of the Into the Badlands seasons, so that's awesome that I have all 3 seasons of that. Great martial arts in that series. The Legend of Korra on Blu-ray. Not as great as Avatar, but still a good show. And then I have the first 2 seasons of Lie to Me on DVD. I never liked Season 3 as much, which is probably why I'm not the only one, and it got canceled after Season 3. And then I have, let's get these out together. One Tree Hill, the first 5 seasons. So you can kind of see them here, 1 through 5. This is one of my wife's favorite shows growing up. So we're trying to collect all those on DVD. I think there's 9 seasons for that one. I've only seen part of the first season. Rurouni Kenshin, this is the anime that those live action movies are similar in an adaptation of. And then I upgraded my Sherlock collection to Blu-ray because Sherlock is such a high quality show. I wanted to have it in HD. So I got the Blu-ray for those. Still one of my favorite shows that I hate got canceled. Terra Nova. I wish I bought the Blu-ray for that when that came out because it's impossible to find now. And then the first 3 seasons of This Is Us on DVD. My wife really likes this show. We bought a season every year for a while on Black Friday, but we just haven't seen them as much lately. And then Yellowstone, the first 3 seasons. Probably my favorite show that's on TV right now. I love that show. We just finished season 4. It was really great. And then Young Justice season 1, season 2, and season 3. I still got to finish season 3, and then season 4 is on HBO right now, so I do have to finish that and catch up. So that wraps up my complete Blu-ray and DVD collection of movies and TV shows for 2022. Last year I broke it up into 2 videos, but I just wanted to kind of keep it all together contained in one video. So I did the shows and the movies together in this one. I love my collection. I hope you got some awesome recommendations from me of some of my favorite movies and my recommendations from each section. I also hope you played along with me in the comments. I'll be down there looking to see what kind of picks you all made as well. So thank you for checking out this video. I'm sure it ended up being a much longer one than usual for this channel, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. My subscribers picked the topic for this week's video being this one. So next week, I'm going to be ranking the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time. Spider-Man No Way Home cracked the top 10 list and thankfully knocked off Frozen 2, which didn't really deserve to be there. So I'm going to be ranking my picks for the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time next week. So if you're sticking around to this point, look forward to that coming soon so you don't miss out. Make sure you subscribe. Again, thank you for sticking around to the end of this video. Because it was a long one, I'll see you in the next video.